Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Interesting Football Club. I'm here. Zach's here.
Hello, how's it going?
I
Uh,
literally couldn't be better. Michael's here.
Hello.
We're playing. Zach, what are we playing?
Technically, I'm letting the gameplay itself. This is Pro Strategy Football 2024.
Okay.
It is a football simulator that only allows you to be like the coaching and strategy element. You get no control over the players, but you can tell them what plays they're on, and stuff like that, which for me is more appealing than playing as the players also, because it
Yeah.
makes it feel like I have a very specific role of coach, which is the role I always play when I watch Bills games anyways. I am Sean
Hmm.
McDermott every time I watch the Bills. Uh, except that I always win in my head for whatever reason.
Weird.
It sounds a lot like Football Manager, which I have been addicted to at many points in my life. So
But
you
I
just get
didn't.
to coach. It's great.
I have on my laptop. I have a mod that gives everybody the proper team names for the 2023 season. Instead, the names are scrambled from different last names that are in the NFL right now, which unfortunately means the Bills have a Kelsey on there, which doesn't sit right with me.
uh, that is unfortunate.
uh, uh, all right, you guys. Michael, I understand we're talking about fantasy football today.
Yeah, I was waiting for the right moment to say. Also, being Sean McDermott while watching the Bills games is a lot like running your fantasy football team, which is today what we have to decide if we want to do as an interesting football club.
Yeah.
Do we want to have a fantasy football league, boys?
So
Um,
I wanna point out that I used to be in Summoning Salt's fantasy football league that he does for his Discord server, and I was banned. I say I was banned. I was asked to uh, not play again if I was going to pick half of my players from the Buffalo Bills. And I said, I'm going to pick half of my players from the Buffalo Bills. And then they very respectfully told me that I couldn't do that.
I'm
So,
kind of like, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's the team that I watch.
yeah. Uh,
yeah,
I want to know in one game whether I'm winning this week or not.
yeah, I don't see a
uh,
problem with that.
I did a similar thing when a friend invited me to his group for a fantasy football league. I don't think I got last place because I know the last place person had to go to a Waffle House for 24 hours, or you could shave off an hour with every waffle that you ate, which is a common punishment for the loser, which I also assert we should do. I presume I didn't get last place because nobody asked me to go to a Waffle House, which means I was probably good. Uh,
That's a lot of waffles.
well, okay, it's a lot of waffles or a lot of hours. You really need
Yeah,
to, you really should pick one of the two. Because there is a way where you eat one waffle per hour and are there for 12 hours.
That's true.
yeah,
Oh, what a fumble!
yeah. Um, so if we want to do this fantasy football league, we have 5 days,
Jimmy
roughly.
Kelsey.
You
Sorry.
could even say 4 days until the season starts.
Okay.
We need to find either 8 or 10 people because we need everyone to be playing every week. So we need either 8 or 10 members of the league. Right now we have the three of us, Taco and Rusty. I know one person in real life who would do it. Um, can we find two more? And are we sure that you guys, as well as Taco and Rusty, would like set lineups and be doing
If you
the things?
if you're gonna need to message me of like Zach, three of your players have a bye week and you need to swap them out. Otherwise, I will forget because I'll be very
Crazy.
busy for no particular reason in the end of October and beginning of November, and then suddenly unemployed at
Yeah.
the end of the week that has the first Tuesday after a Monday for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
Uh,
What are you
for
talking
some
about?
reason, we still haven't figured out.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
um, if
but
you're
yes, I
willing
would love
to,
to. This sounds great.
okay, if you're willing to set your lineup, we will send you reminders. Um, then we need to find two more. Do you guys know people you would want to ask?
I have another one who I'm sure would be into it. Uh,
Okay.
uh, uh,
if Zach has one, then we would each have one that we're inviting from real life. Otherwise, I could probably find one more. But
The issue with him is he's about to have a baby.
ah,
Yeah.
he's uh
that yeah.
he's my cousin. He goes to all the games with me. Um, right, for the last several years, we've gone to opening game together. We've gone to away games together. It's a wonderful time, and deeply unfortunately, he is about to have a whole child.
Yeah, that could definitely take some time
Mhm, mhm,
away.
mhm, mhm.
Um, now fantasy football doesn't have to be a giant time commitment. Because so how much do you know about like what you have to do?
To be honest, I would love just like I would love a rundown because to be honest, I don't really know how it works.
Okay. So what we would do is we would get our 8 or 10 people together and we would have a draft. Where we go
Sounds fun.
snake style, so like it randomizes an hour before, at least through ESPN. That's how they do it. And then so like if there's 10 people you're picking first, you're gonna have pick 20 and 21 or whatever for your next couple picks. Um, and then you just go through and pick player by player to fill out a team. You have to start a quarterback, two running backs, two receivers, a flex, and a tight end, and then a defense and a kicker.
Okay.
Um, and basically, you gain points for them getting yards or touchdowns. You can also have what's called PPR, where you get either a point or a half point for reception. So there's PPR, half PPR, and standard. Standard is no points per reception. Um, and then basically, yeah. So you manage your entire lineup, and you have your whole bench, and you have to choose who to start based on their matchups. And essentially, you're just trying to get the most yards and touchdowns and receptions combined with your team.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to
And
make a statistically really good team by
yes.
taking pieces of other teams.
Huh.
Yep. And so in the
Pretty cool.
draft, your goal is going to be to find people who are like underrated by the rest of your league and fall farther than they should. And so like maybe, like I just recently did a draft and I ended up getting 3 running backs with my first 3 picks. And it's just because that's who was the best player available for my opinion. And so then I had to find a bunch of like underappreciated receivers later on in the draft type of thing.
So how
There's different ways you construct the team.
how does a draft work? Do we use some software?
Yeah, ESPN. You would have to everyone would have to make an ESPN account, and then we could do it real easily through there.
I already have
So
one.
everyone in the league would have to basically just be online at the same time for like an hour and a half to 2 hours at some point between now and the opening of the first game, which is September 5th. We could also start at
That's
week
doable.
2 if we wanted to, because this is very last minute. But
I think I'm good to try and swing it in the limited time frame we have. I also think honestly, even we don't even need to necessarily get people like IRL. I'm sure there are football fans who post in the football section of our
yeah,
Discord who would love to be in a fantasy league.
that's the other thing is if we want to open it up, like if we don't have it full, my only concern with opening it up to the Discord is like if we have like 1 or 2 spots and then more than that want to join, or if like someone joins from the Discord who then just like we don't know anything about them and they like don't set their lineup or anything, or like
Yeah.
it's nice to know the people in the league. And this is just general fantasy advice for all the fans out there. You should know the people in your fantasy league are at least like relatively stable and sane human beings. Not that anyone in the Discord wouldn't be, but
That's true.
just
If we have a
it's
fan, then
better
that
to know the
usually be
people.
stable.
This
Okay.
sounds like a
So
similar philosophy to picking people for your D&D crew. Make sure that they're
Yeah.
people who are actually going to show up.
Yep. Yep, basically. And this is pretty easy because you just have to log into an app. Like there's an app that makes it very easy. The app will notify you. The ESPN app nowadays will notify you if like, hey, you have a player in your
George R. R.
lineup who
Martin.
is out or whatever. So
Hmm.
it makes it very easy. Like fantasy football has come a long way since I started. So
Yeah, you know
which
what? Hell, whatever. I'm gonna hop on and I'm gonna make an ESPN account right now.
All right, perfect. I can create the league and do the commissioner stuff. I assume if we're doing it this last minute, I mean, do we want to do a buy-in or not? Like, we don't need to do one this
Sorry,
year, or we could.
Buy-in.
Doesn't
sorry,
matter.
I completely cut out. Did my joke about inviting George R. R. Martin come through?
No.
No. But if we want to, we can send him an invite.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
anybody's if I don't know if
Has
anybody
ever
said,
asked
"Hey,
him.
we're a bunch of A Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers. We're doing a fantasy football league.
Yeah. Does George
You're
want a
gonna
team?
watch every game anyways."
We have roughly a day to hope that his people and open this random email, get it in front of George, and he decides to join.
We can we can get it passed through some of the A Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers he does know, right? Let's
Yeah, I'm
explain what
sure.
football is to Glidus, and then
Yeah,
Glidus can make the ask for us, right?
exactly.
Be like, Glidus,
It
you know that weird game we play.
I think isn't Australian football basically
Aussie,
football?
yeah, Aussie rules football's badass. We could probably do a whole episode about like Aussie rules and arena football and all the different like near football related type of things.
I
Um,
presume Aussie football just allows you to throw spiders that are like huge at people.
yeah, they
It's
have
like
drop spiders on top of the goalposts
yeah,
or drop bears. That's it.
drop bears on the goalpost. Any
Yeah,
uh, because Canadian football, you can rouge the ball into the like end zone for 1 point. I think that you can get 1 point if you successfully defeat a spider that's trying to take the ball from you
makes
without
sense.
dropping it.
Makes sense. I think there was some like insanely tall American guy who went over and was real good at Aussie rules football. Because a lot of Aussie rules football involves like sitting on people's shoulders and like catching a ball like 500 style, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Yeah, they like punt the ball down and it's like a mad like 500 style thing to like get it. So like he's like 6'7" or so and just like jumps
Oh
up
my
and
god, is that a
lands on the other
safety?
team's
Oh my
shoulders to
god, that's a
catch the
safety.
ball.
Holy shit. Sorry, we just had a safety happen
Oh,
on
nice.
screen. What are the
Nice.
fucking odds?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bisons are doing great.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bisons are doing great, especially considering they're usually a baseball team. So this is actually incredible.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of a completely different, well, I shouldn't even say that. I just want to ask you, have you heard um what happened with the Philadelphia Souls season in the Arena Football League this year, either of you?
No.
No,
What
Oh,
I
happened?
probably
perfect.
should have, but haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to compose myself and hope that I remember all of the funny details. But so you remember the Arena Football League was coming back this year, and the Philadelphia Soul were one of the teams that were going to be in it, but they just didn't have a home arena. Was part of the problem.
Sorry, they
Um,
don't have a home arena when they have three separate places they could potentially turn into one, all right next to each other.
well, so when we talked about this last time, you said that the city of Philadelphia was having arena issues, but this was last.
They need a new NBA one, and they have an offer for it, and there's a huge political fight over that, and
Okay,
people just don't want it downtown, and then other people do want it downtown. I'm on the fence. Uh, the
okay.
problem is like if you need just a place to host a like second string sports team, you have the place where the Eagles play. You have the place where the Sixers play, which I think is also where the Flyers play, and you have the field where the Phillies play right next door. They're all in the same complex.
Would
Any
need
one
to
of
be
those can
the
be
NBA
converted.
one.
It would,
Yeah,
yeah,
arena football would need to be the NHL NBA one.
which is perfectly fine. That is, it's not the best arena in the world, but arena football is not the most
Yeah.
prestigious thing in the world.
No,
It,
as this story will illustrate.
oh no, okay.
Yeah.
Please tell
So
me they end up having to play in Trenton. That'd be so funny.
um I don't even want to I don't want to say a word because you could never guess how their season went. If Tom wants to place a guess, I'll let both of you place a guess as to how you think their season went.
I think I'm gonna wager that their season was. You know what? Fuck it. Historically good, near record setting.
Okay.
Uh,
And Zach,
For the story to
you
be
uh,
can
interesting, it's gotta
just
be.
call
It's gotta be an extreme.
any shots that you want to call about any part of the season.
All right.
my guess was they had to embarrassingly play in New Jersey the whole time, and then I looked up what happened, and it was worse.
You
I said,
looked it
why?
up?
I said, why?
Okay.
I said, I live in the fucking area. Why did I not hear about this? Am I like
Yeah.
dumb? And now I
Yep.
understand.
Did they like
Yep.
fucking?
All
Did
right.
they like go to and like
Okay.
playing fucking Saskatchewan?
All right. All right. All right. All right. I'll set the scene. So before the season started, there were some signs that the league wasn't doing the greatest. They announced at one point the Chicago Fire, who was another historic franchise, was supposed to be coming back. And they had announced that like the Chicago Fire were going to have a charity game against the fire department of Chicago. Their owner was like talking about stuff on social media. And then the schedule came out, and the Chicago Fire were not on it. They just don't exist. Uh,
Oh
so
no.
they were not a team. The Philadelphia Soul were on the schedule, and then it was announced like a month or less before the season that they no longer had ownership. They never had an arena, so their plan was they were going to be an entirely road-based team.
What?
Uh, they were just going to go on the road for a year and figure it out next year. They couldn't get an arena deal,
Okay.
and then yeah,
This happens often in minor league baseball where they're like arena is under repair and it's going to take the whole season, so they're a
yep,
completely road team. That happens and it's not unprecedented. And teams have built up great seasons being road teams and like had fans follow them all over the place in the fucking minor league. So that's actually not like that's making the best of a bad situation, right? That is totally doable.
so yeah, that part was bad but workable. Then it turned out though that they didn't have an owner, like less than a month before the season, which seemed like a bigger problem. But the league said we're going to take over and run the Philadelphia Soul. So I was like, okay, they put together a team. They get to week one, which they are playing in. It was a team that was from Baton Rouge. I think they eventually moved to Shreveport though, or some random something random. I don't remember. I think they're from Louisiana though. And so the Philadelphia Soul travel to Louisiana. They don't pay the hotel bill, apparently. The Arena Football League just does not pay the hotel bill. The
Okay.
team gets locked outside of the hotel with all of their belongings locked inside of the hotel.
Oh my god.
The team all quit. The league refused to pay anything, so they are all stranded in Louisiana. The Arena Football League goes to a different arena league that is much lower quality level with completely different rules, finds a team from somewhere in Texas, puts them in Philadelphia Soul jerseys and uniforms, and has them go and play the as the Philadelphia Soul on like a day's notice.
Whoa.
The Philadelphia Soul lose their week one game like fucking 60 something to 3 or something like that, and then immediately fold. The
Yeah,
team is no longer exists.
it said they lost two games, then immediately folded. And I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And the answer is they fired the whole team. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
the whole team got basically the league like okay, so the league was so bad, the commissioner basically made a bunch of promises that he couldn't back up, just walked away, like just let everything fall apart and just said or did nothing as it all fell apart, like straight up just like sends people to a hotel with no intention to pay the hotel bill, that kind of stuff.
Holy
Um
shit.
yeah,
Will
so
they? I'll figure
they
it out later
fired
when I have a
that guy.
bunch of money sort of mentality. Yeah,
What's up?
he has the when I make a bunch of money, I'll pay for all this.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Um, and so they fucking fire that guy and they bring in Jeff Fisher, the NFL coach, who was a meme there for a minute for just constantly going 500. And he came in and actually saved the league. Like the Arena League, like somewhat survived. Uh, my team, right? So I can't remember. Zach, do you have an article up that shows what the Philadelphia Souls score was? Because
Let
I
me look it
didn't.
up. Hold on.
Yeah, if you know what the score of their week one game was, my team, the Minnesota Myth. Well, if you find the score, it would illustrate the point.
Yo, that's a good name.
Yeah, right. The Minnesota Myth. Their logo was a winged wolf, which is pretty cool. Fits the A Song of Ice and Fire stuff pretty well. So yeah, them and the Chicago Fire are like somewhat close to me. Iowa is somewhat close to me. So like, there's a few teams that like I could root for. But the Fire obviously were supposed to exist and then just randomly didn't. Um, did you find the score or not?
They lost their first game to Louisiana Voodoo.
Also a good name.
Yeah.
The Louisiana had 53, and the Soul had 18.
Okay, they did score 18. Okay, that's
And
better than I
then
remembered them doing.
Minnesota Myth beat them. The Minnesota Myth got 47, and the Soul got 12.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was gonna say is
I like to imagine they
um
got 2 touchdowns and missed the extra kick. Extra point.
um so the Minnesota Myth lost week one by the exact same score as the Philadelphia Soul team, who was not actually the Philadelphia Soul. They were a random other team playing on a day's notice. We lost by the same amount, and then we played week two against the Soul, and then both of us folded.
Good fucking god.
Yeah. The first like 3 or 4 weeks of the arena football season this year were just a bloodbath because the commissioner, as I said, revived the league with just like no plans to actually like follow through apparently on anything.
Good lord. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was
I
great.
I love this I love this stupid show we do cuz I learn such dumb shit.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
has quickly become like a specific like chat for just sports related fucking unmitigated disasters. Not the like horrible disasters way, but like the wonders of logistics. To have a functional sports league, a lot of things need to go right, and we're used to seeing them mostly go right throughout time. Like fucking occasionally there's a lockout that delays the NBA or the NFL or the NHL rather. Sometimes even the NFL has like things that make the season wonky. They all had difficulties through COVID, but god damn it, they put on a thing pretty much every year. It's so much more
Yeah.
interesting to watch a league implode into little pieces. It's so much more
Yeah.
interesting.
They finished this Arena Football League season, by the way. They played the Arena Bowl in a mall, as far as I'm aware. That's what I was told.
Dude.
It was a rough season, but we got through it.
Holy shit.
There was a team that like
They
just
played it in a
straight up.
mall in New Jersey. What?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a team that just straight up showed up for its week one game in like a freaking like rodeo cattle yard that the ceilings were way too low, where like field goals were like gonna hit the ceilings and stuff. And like their nets that are supposed to be next to the stadium were just like not correct and like all wonky and not regulation at all. And then they just immediately folded after week one, too, I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
my god.
Hilariously, the mall was in East Rutherford, New Jersey, which is the home of the fucking arena that the NFL plays in. It is
Oh,
where the Jets and Giants plays in East Rutherford.
yeah, okay. Yep. That's funny. Yeah. It was a wild season for the Arena League.
Yeah,
Also,
so sorry, the stadium for the stadium football teams. They do have an arena there. I'm pretty sure another team plays. Hold on.
I was just gonna also say I found out, speaking of like tiny sports leagues, I found out that there is a sports league somewhat near where I live, and me and my friend were looking at this, where you can run a soccer team, an adult soccer team, and it would cost like $1,000 or two for a season. And we were looking at each other going, "Oh no, do we want to own a soccer team?"
Like, I can afford I can afford a soccer team.
That's what I realized. I can afford to own. I was like, "Oh man, we can afford to own a soccer team," and then cross off our bucket list, winning a sports league as an owner.
Yeah, I've thought about this too. Like, if we wanted to throw the money together to sponsor an esports team for like a like not multi-million dollar, even some of the multi-million dollar ones, like if we are able to consistently pay the rent for like five dudes in a like fucking like house in a city somewhere, we could technically sponsor any sports team if we're paying the internet bill and their rent. That's usually like the two biggest hurdles to sponsoring a team like that. Also, you got to fly them to events, but that's not an inconceivable amount of money to be an like esports team owner. There's a reason, like obviously, Moist Critical is like a huge YouTuber who makes a ton of money, but he was able to start an esports league when he was a smaller YouTuber than he is now, and it's like zero damage to his bottom line. And that's got to be true for minor league teams also, right? Like the American soccer is not the fucking big leagues. And apparently, all it
Right.
takes is not negative money to successfully run an arena football team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Um, well, arena football feels like it's got to be way harder, but like small time soccer, I feel like you could definitely run a league fairly stably. Oh, so this league that I was looking at, there was one team that won like the top level because there's two levels, so you could get relegated or you can get promoted from the bottom level to the top. And the team that won the top level like a bunch of years in a row. This league's been going on for like 20 years, and they won like 10 in a row or something like that. And then as far as I could tell, they left the league because I looked up that team name, and on Facebook it showed them joining a different league starting that year, and then all of their posts were from that year. So what I think happened was this team dominated this little league, left for a bigger league, and then instantly folded. But they didn't they weren't allowed to just rejoin this little league again. But a different team with like a very suspiciously similar name showed up in the bottom tier and won the bottom tier like 4 years in a row, which you should have gotten promoted to the top tier if you won the bottom tier. So I'm pretty sure the same team like basically just had a punishment for leaving the league and coming back with their tail between their tail between their legs. Like, yeah, you guys got to stay in the bottom level for like 4 years in a row. You can't go back to just dominating again.
All right. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. Suppose that we, as internet people,
Yes.
want to sponsor a soccer team. Okay?
Yeah.
We get like the I don't know, like the where the Denver Davos is, right?
Yes.
What the,
Uh,
okay. Forget the name. What is the theme?
I
Suppose we all suppose we get like 10 A Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers.
Oh, well, if
Go.
it's all the Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers, my theming, I have the team name already,
Okay.
but I'm gonna try to find a way. I don't know how I'm gonna try find the logo and then send it to the Discord group. I don't know if we'll be able to show it on screen or not, but um,
Because that's
can
actually
find.
Zach, like you and I have talked about this in the past, being like, I would love to see our logo on the back of like some esports nerd shirt.
we've talked about sponsoring an esports team. Minor league sports teams have been like this has actually been like a dream of mine to be like I'm the team owner and general manager of a team of like minor notoriety. I would love to.
Yeah,
I
right.
understand that I will never be an NFL or NBA team owner unless things change very dramatically for the amount of money I earn. and I'm not in the field of work to do that. I'm in the field of work. I'm in the field of work to someday own a pretty nice house, maybe if all things go right. And
Yeah.
that is not a football team, but an arena football team, or a soccer team, or an esports team. I might be able to swing that someday.
Yep.
Michael, I just
Yep.
got the picture.
You saw it. All
It's
right. Tom
pretty
has seen
fucking good.
the logo for the Cowboy Town Majestic Sea Cows.
That is a good one.
I don't know if we can display that for the viewers or not. I'm not sure how we would.
I like it. I just put it on the screen.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love it so much.
Yeah. The Cowboy Town Majestic Sea Cows
Oh my
Football
god,
Club.
I love him. Oh, he's
Yeah.
so stupid.
I know it's
He
the dumbest thing ever.
You know what he needs? He needs an ascot. Or a bandana.
Yeah.
He needs a neck bandana. Or like a
You
bolo
need
tie.
to get the real like a cowboy thing going on there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
could probably
God.
add one of those.
Look at his weird fingers.
Right, right.
Oh no.
So we could do branded T-shirts where he's holding two little guns and firing them in the air because he's a cowboy.
Hell yeah.
Because he doesn't have fins. He's got little fingers.
So wait, how much would it cost for us to own a soccer team? Let's get a ballpark here.
So in this league that I specifically was looking at, it was $100 per game for fees for like the league for refereeing and things. You have to pay for player jerseys. I think we put it together all in all. It was like between 1,500 and 2,000 for the first season, but then it would be cheaper after that because you would already have jerseys and certain things. But about 1,000 to 1,500 a year, roughly, was what we gathered. Like as it stood with this specific league.
Oh my god. What about like how about like the Hartford Heart Tree?
Shockingly reasonable, right?
Yeah, like me and my Chucklefuck friends, which includes both of you, could absolutely fucking afford that.
That's the conversation that me and my friend had. I'm like, Nathan, we can afford this. We could be the owners of a team. I'm like, my YouTube channel could own a soccer team at this point. Like,
wait, actually, what we could do is buy multiple soccer teams in the same league
and compete
against each other.
So the biggest problem he pointed out, the biggest problem would probably be actually recruiting and putting a team together, because unless you're going to pay these players, which makes it way more expensive, you do have to put together a good team. But yes, I would absolutely be down to compete against you guys in a soccer league.
That does sound incredible.
Yeah.
How many players do you need in a soccer team?
11 with substitutes. Okay. So, here's the thing. You
also need to pay for travel too.
Yeah, you would have to transport yourself to the games probably. Because there's no way these teams in this particular league are paying for travel. For like, I've already mentioned I'm a Packers. Yeah, I've already mentioned I'm a Packers fan.
So Michael, famous Packers fan.
It won't be news to anyone to say if I say that this league in question is the Northern Wisconsin Soccer League, which has just amazingly just jacked the acronym for the National Women's Soccer League and made it their own.
That's incredible. Sorry to all the women out there. You're interchangeable with Wisconsin.
The NWSL is the North Wisconsin Soccer League, which has been going on for a long time. And that team from Green Bay won it a bunch of times in a row, then seems to have left the league, folded, and then returned with their tail between their legs under a different name.
Zach, you just played a game where your team scored 5 times and almost lost.
The incredible thing I was pointing out, the team did incredible work and was only one scoring event away from a tie. Presuming the extra point happened. It's also incredible to get a score of 14-17 where a safety happened.
Yeah, that's wild.
That takes some real scoregami math to make that uninteresting as a score.
All right.
Was
you
that all
guys.
field goals?
Oh no, it was 4 field goals and a safety.
Right. Yeah. I just meant there was no. Yeah, there was no.
No, I
Yeah.
think I think they got one touchdown and missed the extra point, or maybe I
That's
was
Okay.
hilarious.
Yeah.
it might have been all field goals and a safety. We'll have to watch the
Yeah.
replay.
Yeah.
That is impressive, and also I want to point out is very real as a possibility for a Bills game is to win.
Yeah.
We did beat the Jets once with only field goals. It was a 100% Tyler Bass beat the Jets that week. I remember that game well. It's one of my favorites. They got one touchdown, and we got like fucking I think it would have been what 18 sneezing 18 points in field goals.
6 field goals. Yeah.
Yeah, they got one touchdown and we got 6 field goals. Yeah.
All right, team. I'm calling this a recording. Stay tuned. Subscribe, please, for updates on the soccer league that we all are going to purchase.
And
We
possibly
started.
fantasy football league.
Yeah, we started here trying to decide if we were going to have a fantasy football league. We left owning 2 soccer teams, which are now arch rivals. What do you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Buffaloes, which I don't think is actually taken.
So the funny thing, I have family in Wisconsin, so I could actually like stay somewhere for a team that I would be sponsoring. Like I have a place I could 100% crash to come in and manage the team that I own. Tom,
You
if you
need
do
to
want to,
scout. Yeah.
if you want to help me sponsor the team, Tom,
Yeah, you're gonna go
I
like
have the means to
fucking.
make that a
You're gonna go
reality.
like talent scouting around the local
Yeah.
colleges.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about it. We're literally like, okay, well, every time I drive past the college, I see dudes working out playing soccer. I would just go talk to them every time.
Oh my god. All right, I'm ending the recording. Everybody say goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.